Hi everyone, and welcome to Technical and Professional Writing. I am your instructor this semester, Professor Hall, and I'm going to do a really brief walkthrough of the class just to kind of show you what to expect and where to find things. So if you haven't taken an online class before, no worries, no fears. Everything will be laid out for you. If you have taken an online class before, welcome anyway. And sometimes I set up things a little bit different than other instructors. So I just want to make sure that you can still find everything that you need to find. So this is our homepage. The biggest thing here on the homepage is the announcements. If I ever have any announcement, if I'm changing the calendar for some reason, this summer, if you were taking summer classes, we had some blackouts. So if something like that happens, I might put an announcement up. I might do an announcement just to remind you of something big that's coming up that week, or if a deadline, stuff like that. So anytime I do an announcement, it will also go right into your school email, but you can also find it here. And you can click more announcements. Usually just the first line of the announcement pops up. So if you want to read it here, you can. So let's take a look at the syllabus and calendar. The syllabus, if this is your first semester or if you haven't been in college in a long time, the syllabus is basically like the rules for the classroom and the class description. I have it in a module form and in a PDF form. The module, I think, in some ways it's a little bit more user-friendly. I'm going to open it in a new tab here. And in other ways, I think the PDF is kind of easier, but you can print the PDF too if you want to. The course calendar, that has the dates for the semester, and you'll notice how each thing is broken up here into a unit. The units are either 1 week long or 2 weeks long, and for each unit you have videos to watch. Those are my lectures. You have things to read. It says textbook, but that's actually an open resources textbook. So I'm going to show you where I put that for this class. The only book that you have to buy for this course is On Writing Well, which I think you should have been able to get for maybe $6. You could probably get it on Kindle for maybe $2 if you want to read it online as well. So that's just something also to consider. And then you have what you have to do, and usually there'll be a discussion forum and a journal or other type of assignment. So they're pretty much structured the same way throughout. Everything is loaded for the entire semester, which I'll show you in a second in lessons and assignments. So if you want to work ahead, you can. And this has 1 through 3, and then 4 through 6, and then 7 through 10 down here. So 10 units total over the 16 weeks. Everything, if you notice, these dates here, they're all on Mondays. So everything for you guys will be due Monday at 11:59. The reason for that is that I've noticed, especially with people taking online classes, I know that a lot of you have jobs as well, and I just want to be respectful of that. A lot of people like to work through the whole weekend, and sometimes they're kind of up later on Sunday. My second reason for putting you guys on a Monday is that your final was scheduled for Monday, so it'll kind of coincide with that. And my third reason is that way, if you do have a question over the weekend and I'm a tad bit late getting back to you, you still have all of Monday to kind of finish up whatever you're working on. So there's that as well. So let's take a look at our syllabus. Right here is my, of course my picture is broken. I live in the country and I have horrible internet. So when I do grading and stuff I usually do it at school, but today I'm at home. So at any rate, sorry you can't see my lovely shining face there. My email is here, my office. I'm going to be doing my office hours in the Writing Center, so all my hours are there. If you're in an online class, definitely stop by. Even if you just want to say hello, hey, what's going on? I'm in your class, this is what I look like, that would be great. Otherwise, a lot of my online students I see at graduation, and I'm like, oh, that's what they look like. Okay. So, yeah, I have office hours in the Writing Center, so if you ever want to stop by, you can. If you need to make another appointment, you can just email me. The course description and goals are here. The class materials I'm going to talk about again in a moment. But here's the basic course description. The course applies principles of effective writing to the specific forms of professional and technical writing. So a lot different than college composition. This class really is meant for when you get out into the workforce to improve your technical and professional writing skills, and then to look at certain types of documents that you would work on in the different fields that you're in. So I tried to tailor a lot of what we're reading, what we're looking at, based on the disciplines or the majors that you guys are in. So we've got some people are in, I'm going to say this wrong, but it's basically like bank fraud. We have some people who are doing accounting, some people who are computer science, a couple people from human services, and a couple people from English, and some other things here and there. So I've tried to find things to kind of, nutrition I know is another one too, I think, right? So, and pre-nursing. So I've tried to find some things that kind of hit your interest with this class in terms of what you'll be working on for your assignments. The student learning outcomes are the only thing else I'm going to read, and then I'll just kind of show you what's over here. So produce text in a variety of professional forms, revise and edit and proofread professional texts, analyze your audience and produce texts that meet their needs. Produce concise and cohesive written texts. Produce written texts that demonstrate effective voice, tone, and style. We're going to talk about the principles of page design, and then you'll be preparing an oral presentation. You're not delivering it, but you are going to be preparing it. So the course materials, how you're graded, types of assignments. This information is not completely correct. You don't have a textbook to purchase. You do need to get the book on writing, which should have been in your class materials when you go to the bookstore. On writing is not a long book, and we're not going to even look at the whole thing. We're looking at the first, I think, 9 chapters. So about maybe the first third or the first half of the book. There's a lot there in a short space. So it has a lot of good tips for writers. I'm going to click over in a minute and show you guys my writing portfolio. At least my creative writing portfolio. My tech stuff isn't in there because a lot of that I do as a ghostwriter, where it's like, I'm not supposed to say what I do or who I work for. How you're graded is here, types of assignments, plagiarism policy, attendance policy, all of those types of things are all there for you. So the grading policy in particular, if you're confused about, it's right there. So let's take a look. You can go through that at your leisure. And as I said, there's also, especially this thing here, I put in tips on taking an online class. I gave this to my online students last semester, and they found it really helpful. So those are my 6 top tips for online class taking. I've taken a few classes online before too, and a lot of it depends on how you do it. Some of it depends on the instructor, but a lot of it's based on how much you want to learn, how much effort you want to put in. So here are our lessons and assignments. I'd like you to introduce yourself right up here where it says Welcome to English 211. And then everything here is, as I said, everything's open. You can see the entire semester. And it says whether things are 2 weeks or 1 week. So a lot of the things toward the end are 2 weeks because we're working on longer projects. A lot of the stuff at the beginning looks like just 1 week units, because basically how I structured this is we have what I call building blocks the first 4 weeks. So we're going to talk about tech writing, and we're going to look at one particular type that we're going to use in some of the other assignments, summaries and responses, executive summaries and responses, professional audience and tone, clarity, and grammar. Those are kind of like our building blocks, right? And then we get into the business professional communications. We're going to look at different types of business communications here. Then we're going to move to resumes and cover letters, and then presentations. And then we're going to do some of the actual more technical writing, manuals and instructions, and feasibility reports. If you continue, I know for those of you who are English majors, you might continue on and have an advanced technical writing class. So this is an introductory tech writing class, professional and technical writing. A more advanced technical class would really do, maybe half the class would be grammar, like really intensive, specific grammar that you need for proofreading. And then the other half might be things like white papers, which we're really not going to get into. So the nice thing about this class, I think, is that it's a lot more practical than something like college composition. I love college composition. I like teaching it. That really prepares you for the rest of your academic work, whereas technical and professional writing really prepares you more right for your job experience. So this is basically how each unit is structured. First, I have the unit goals. Make sure that you read those. A lot of people just kind of skip them, but when adults are learning, it's really important that we learn best if we know that things are practical and useful, and we also know what the outcome should be. So I've put the goals there for you so that you kind of know right away, oh, this is what I should learn this semester. And then you kind of know, here's where we're going with it. Here's the goals by the time I'm done with this unit, at the end of this week or these 2 weeks. Then I have your assignments. So your assignments are always going to be 3 categories: watch, read, and do. You will have lectures that I've done kind of like this video to watch, and then you'll have things to read. The textbook referred to here, I'm going to show you guys where that is in just a moment. There we go. And then on writing, which I mentioned before, and then your due. Usually you have 2 things. The first week you have 3 because I want you to introduce yourself. Typically you have a discussion forum and then a journal or other type of assignment. So the videos are there, and then the lecture notes are right underneath. Now, the thing about the lecture notes is that I talk in the video quite a bit more than I have in the lecture notes themselves. So I recommend that you actually watch the lecture videos and don't just try to print out the notes. Really, the notes are there to kind of supplement, so you can look back at them, or a lot of people print them out and read them while they watch. And then we come to discussion forums. So I'm going to open that in a new tab, maybe. There we go. And then I'll click on this one here. So this is a discussion forum. It's what it looks like with the little pin. And this is a journal or other type of assignment. It'll have this thing right here with the little pencil and the ruler. Make you feel like you're in an architectural class. So for the journals and other assignments, those are usually 10, 20, or 30 points, depending on the length. The directions are right there. I don't want you to write the text submission. The reason for that is that, there we go, I cannot put comments in correctly on those text submissions, so I don't recommend doing that. What I really want you to do is here, browse your computer. The Safe Assign only takes documents from Word, and then the PowerPoints, which you're going to be doing later on for the presentation. You can also submit as a PDF. You cannot submit as a Google Doc, but I haven't put it up yet, but I will provide a video for you about how to change your Google Doc into a Word doc if you need to. You also have Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint in your student email through Outlook. So if you don't know how to access that, find out if you're not sure and you don't have Word. The comments part here, sometimes people type their paper in there, and I can't even explain to you how messed up it looks on my screen when you do that. The comments are really for me to make comments. It's the same box that I have to make comments back to you. And sometimes if you a lot of times I have students who'll put a question there, I think I did this correctly, but I wasn't sure about the conclusion. Can you tell me if I did that the correct way, right? So if you have a question, that's really what the add comments is there for. So you do that and you browse your computer, find your file, upload it, and hit submit. That's it. You should get, I think they might even send you now some kind of a confirmation, or a thing might pop up confirming that you've submitted. All of your assignments are set up so that you can submit multiple times. So if you submit the wrong document, don't worry. I grade the one that comes in latest, if that makes sense. So if you send something at 7:01 and you go, oh no, I just sent my English teacher my biology paper, and you resend it 7:02, that's fine. I'll take the one from 7:02 and I'll just mark out the one from before. So no worries on that front. So discussion forums look a tiny bit different. And here we go. What you need to do here is create a thread. You cannot look at anyone else's, I don't know if this will let me. Yes, there we go. So you can't look at the entire message board until you create your own thread. The reason for that is that I had people before who were trying to plagiarize from their peers. So they would go into somebody else's discussion forum and like copy and paste. And I was kind of like, you submitted yours later and I know that you copied it. So the forum description will be here with the prompt, what I want you to do and the directions, how long it should be, etc. And then you can just type it right in there and make sure you put in a subject. And when you're done, you hit submit. Then you also need to comment on 2 other people's posts. So once you do that, you can see the entire message board and you can click in on 2 other people who have also done their assignment, and you can comment on their posts as well. I want those to be, it typically tells you how long you need to talk for. Don't just put in a word or 2. Make sure your comments are respectful. Usually it's like 2 to 5 sentences, a paragraph. Sometimes it's 2 paragraphs that I'd like you to do as a response. So let me close those up. I'll go back actually here. All right, while that's going, I'm going to click on this link to the textbook. So we do have an open educational resources textbook, a couple of them for you. Basically, there's the Handbook of Technical Writing. I put it in as a PDF. Now, last semester I had problems with people not being able to access PDFs correctly. So I also included the web link for you. So if you click right there on the web link, I'm going to open that in a new tab. This will take you right to that handbook, and it'll kind of look like this, and it's still a PDF. It's just, but it's the web link in case Blackboard is doing some weird, funny things. So now I talked about all of the units, and I showed you guys where the textbook is. Oh, this is also an online text from Lumen Learning. There's a couple things I think that where I signed that. There we go. It opened in a new tab automatically. The handbook downloaded. Okay, so first, the handbook, the textbook, if you go, yeah, it's loading very slowly for me right now, but there is a table of contents that is hyperlinked. So you don't necessarily need to go to find, page 524 or whatever. It's in alphabetical order as well. So just be kind of aware of that. Okay, so in contrast, this is the Lumen Learning book. Everything here is also hyperlinked. So whatever I've assigned, you can go to it and click on it, and it'll take you to that page. So that's another tool. For the most part, I've either assigned the first textbook that I just closed up, the Handbook of Technical Writing, or I've given you other documents in the lessons and assignments folders. Let me click to one of them where I know that's the case. Or not. There we go. All right, so I'll show you that in a minute. There's also a link here directly to the discussion forums, just because some people are kind of used to that. So I put that there just if you want to get to the discussion forum for the week through that link. I don't think it's as helpful, but a lot of people are used to seeing the discussion forums in a certain way. So I gave you that. Then after the content stuff, then we have the stuff for you guys. So grades, Starfish, and email. Grades are where you see your grades and they will come to you as soon as I can grade stuff. My plan for you guys, if you're turning your stuff in on Monday, I'm probably going to grade that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday right away. There are some longer assignments, particularly where you are doing like the grammar, where I have to check your grammar and do proofreading. And then later on when you do longer things like manuals, where again, I'm kind of going to be proofreading a little bit. So just know that, however long it takes you to proofread a document, I have to proofread 30. So it might take me a little bit more time to do those things, but for the most part, I hope to get things back to you as soon as possible, and usually I'm pretty conscientious about that. So your grades will always be up to date. Starfish, I can't click into because it will show you my Starfish, and then it will show you other people's information, which would be against the law. But Starfish is a great way to check to see things like who's my academic counselor, who's my academic coach, who's my advisor, what other classes am I in, am I getting flagged for those classes, so did I miss assignments, am I not doing as well as I think I'm doing. All that stuff is going to be in your Starfish. You can raise your hand in Starfish to say that you'd like tutoring help, or that you need an appointment with a counselor, that you're having a problem. We have a food pantry, we have people on campus to help with housing, things like that. So if anything like that is going on, you can't afford to pay for your books for other classes, that kind of thing, you can use Starfish to kind of try to connect with people, and we'll follow up. And then email, where you can email me. This thing down here is just Blackboard Help, just in case you need it. And there's the discussion board page. Sorry, guys. My computer's going a little wonky here. So the discussion board page is over there for you. I apologize for this, but it looks like that, and you can click into those anytime you want. Sorry to be like a little ADD on you there. So that's kind of it. That's how our class is set up. If you have any questions at all, you can just email me and let me know, and I will try to help you out. But my suggestion is you just kind of click around, see where stuff is, see what kind of assignments we have coming up, just so you kind of know what to expect and you can better plan your time. And oh, there we go. So my picture didn't come up before, but this is me smiling and happy in the summertime. And I'm going to be asking you guys to be this semester to put together portfolios. If you put together a portfolio for English 123, you've done one before, and we're going to be doing one again this semester in technical and professional writing. But this is my portfolio. Basically, it's my website, but essentially my website is an online portfolio. So the About Me has things like my resume, classes I've taught, and then a little bit about myself. These are my books. Some of my books anyway, and then I also have my portfolio of short stories and poems as well. So some of the things that I have written, not all of them, but the ones that I chose to put into my portfolio. So and you can megancassidyauthor.com if sometimes people want to know where they can find out more about my writing and stuff like that. So there we go. So again, my office is in Elston 205. I'm going to be doing my student hours in the Writing Center. Please come up and visit me. And if you want to, you can bring your stuff and I can help you with it a little bit. We can have a writing tutoring kind of, subscribe to my newsletter. We can have like a writing tutoring appointment. The Writing Center is also a great place, especially if you're doing an online class. It's a great place to get a little bit of extra help when you don't have a teacher in person. So I've tried to make this class as personal as I can. You're going to be hearing me just like you would if you were in an in-person class. The lectures are essentially the same. There's a little bit more info on the ones online, fewer words than there are in my in-person classes. But other than that, everything's the same. So that is it. And I hope to hear from you. And I look forward to reading your work and getting to know all of you. Thanks. Have a great day.